The first quarter analysis is in, and it has some gloomy things and also has some positive things that are of interest to you. And also what it shows is that baby boomers like you guys may be stuck in their homes. So what does that mean? Let's break it down. The latest numbers are actually showing that things may be slowing down, which could be a good thing after the last 3 years of some crazy market activities. However, as you guys know, we're heading into a spring and summer season. It is typically the busiest. So it is yet to be seen what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 months or so. At the same time, the issue still remains is a really low inventory of homes that are coming on the market slowly, but still are coming. That's on one end. And on the other end, of course, yes, we are dealing with high mortgage interest rates around 7%, and that is also causing some concerns with the buyers. Nationwide, the median price of the homes has declined from $345,000 in the last quarter of 2023 to $330,000 in the first quarter of this year. Which I think is interesting because $330,000, when I think about it in our market here in my area, that's a really low price. So that's all very subjective. And overall, I think all of you will agree with me is that nationwide price does not mean a lot for each of you individually because, hey, United States is a large country. So the median prices that are in California may not mean a lot to those that are worried about what is happening in their own backyard in, let's say, the state of Georgia. So I encourage you to just kind of read those facts, but also say to yourself, okay, that's great what's happening on the national level, but how is that going to affect me right here in my community? Because as you know, real estate is all about location. Another interesting stat that I have found was that the cash purchases have accounted for 41% of all the purchases in the first quarter. 41%, that's pretty high. And that could also be affected by the fact that the mortgage rates are on the higher end, so which is prompting some of the buyers to forego getting mortgages because of the associated cost with that. And they're just ending up using cash to purchase their houses. It's also important to keep track of institutional investors, which accounted for about 6% of the home purchase prices in the first quarter. And these are the investors that are big companies, corporations that buy more than 10 houses a year. And these are the states that have seen this really in high numbers in the first quarter. These states are Tennessee, Alabama, Indiana, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And why I'm bringing this up is because when you have an institutional buyer that is coming in to purchase a home, it's very hard to compete with those institutional buyers for regular families, for regular Joe and Mary. It's just hard because they have the funds, they don't care much about what's going on with the home, and they will upbid the prices in order to go ahead and win that home. Now, the trends that we're seeing with baby boomers because of this crazy market that we're in is where more and more baby boomers are choosing to stay in their homes versus maybe heading somewhere else. And also some of the boomers feel like they're going to be stuck in their homes. And here's what I'm talking about. Majority of baby boomers like you guys who are age 55 and older really do prefer to stay in their home and enjoy their golden years there. And what some of them are doing are figuring out ways on how they can modify their homes, upgrade their homes to make it better for them for the next 30 or so years so they can spend their retirement years in their home. So they are retaining services of contractors, of interior designers, and doing things like moving their primary bedrooms to the first floor, putting in walk-in showers in their bathrooms, doing some safety items like handlebars and other modifications to their homes to help them live well and also be safe in their homes. And the issue is that why some of the boomers may feel like they're stuck in their homes is because, first of all, yes, they already have paid off their mortgages, or maybe they have small mortgage that is still outstanding, but they refinance and now have a really low rate that they have obtained, let's say, in the last 2 to 3 years. So that's one. And two, thinking about buying a home may not make sense because of the home they currently have and the increased home value values that we have seen in the last 3 years. It just, to some people, just does not make sense because the numbers are really crazy in some parts of the country. So because of the equity in their homes, some families and some people have the funds available to go ahead and do these upgrades in their homes, and things like residential elevators, doing things to modify and maybe expand their kitchens to make it more accessible, and widening their hallways to make sure that they're going to be accessible by a wheelchair down the road if that is a concern. And this trend is most likely going to grow because, as you can imagine, majority of the boomers are going to turn age 65 by the time year 2030 comes around. But what we are seeing in the research that is being done is that there is a growing gap between those boomers that have the extra funds available to do these things and those boomers that may be living on a fixed income and, let's say, having just their Social Security check and the home and the equity that they live in. But don't worry, I have some resources for you. I really want to brainstorm with you on how we can make it work. Don't forget, I want you to grab your retirement journal and your notebook to write some of these things down so that way we can figure out what are some of the best strategies that you can apply. So if you are in the case where you have limited resources, there are a couple of things that you can do to tap into. The first one, you might be surprised, however, I do have it on good authority, is that Habitat for Humanity offers some really great ideas and resources to be able to help you and partner with you to make some of these modifications that you may need. So definitely check out your local Habitat for Humanity in your county and see what programs do they offer. The second option is to tap into the resources for local agencies on aging. I'm going to link a website so you can find the local agency that is nearest to you to see what resources that they offer for those seniors that are in your local community. Harvard did an analysis last year of a 2011 study that actually shows that nationwide, which is scary, only 4% of the homes are going to be single story and have the overall hallways that are wide enough to have ability and accessibility for wheelchairs as well as walkers, which is a staggering small number, which means that the demand and the need to do the modifications for majority of the boomers is going to be significant. So many of my clients are actually saying, Olga, you can help my loved ones to carry me out of the box in this house. And I totally get where you're coming from. I totally understand. You raised your family in this home. You have so many memories. You are comfortable here. And this is where you want to be, is where you're comfortable. However, there's a couple of things that I really want you to consider to see if your home is still the right kind of foundation for you. If this is going to be the right move. Here we go. So the first point to consider is your home is growing older with you as, of course, you go through your life stages as well. So I want you to think about the major components of your home that are going to be the most expensive if you have to do the repairs or upgrades. So what are we talking about? Siding, roof, windows, your heating and air conditioning. If you haven't done those upgrades, think about the budget and do you have the funds to be able to do those things? Because if you don't, of course, the house is not going to sustain you as you need it to go in the next 30 years. The second point to consider is your mobility. As you get older, your health is probably going to deteriorate. So I want you to think about all the steps that you have in the house, your mobility. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 15 years? And are you still going to be able to get to the basement floor laundry? Or could it be one of the modifications that you need to make and move your laundry to, let's say, first or second floor? Are you able to take care of your yard? As much as you love it and it's great for gardening and perhaps it was perfect for you down the road in the past, is it still going to be there and you're going to be able to take care of it? Taking care of lawn, taking care of snow, all of these things. And the number one concern that I know that you probably are thinking about is the home going to be safe for you? So what I encourage you to do is actually perform a home safety assessment. I have a checklist for you that I'm going to link under this video that you can download and go through it. It's very comprehensive. It's going to cover everything on the outside as well as on the inside, but it's really going to dive in and do it room by room to make sure that you can take a look at your home from the perspective of, is this going to be safe for me now and down the road? And am I going to be comfortable in this home? So the things that we're going to look at is your safety, your tripping hazards, personal security, lighting, and some other important things. And the last part of that is going to be creating the list of modifications that you may have to make in your home, so that way you can then talk to those contractors and partner with them to see if it makes sense. And two things that I have suggestions for you as a bonus for this video is, number one, after you have gone through this prep work and really dug in deeper to see if your home is going to be a safe shelter for you for the next 20 to 30 years, perhaps it may make sense for you to downsize into something smaller, into something that is only one story, but it's really going to help you to make more sense down the road. And for those of you who maybe are on a lower income and fixed income, having an option of doing and tapping into that home equity that you have because you are in your home and perhaps your mortgage is paid off, think about and consider the option of doing a reverse mortgage. Now, it may be the right move for you, or it may not be. It's not the right program for everyone. And yes, I know it has gotten really bad reputation lately. However, you can check out this video that I have done with a really great professional where we really dig in deep to see all the pros and all the cons of doing a reverse mortgage for your home. So my question to you today is, how are you feeling about making your plans and staying in your own home during your golden years? What concerns do you have? So let's talk about them and let's brainstorm together so that way we can help each other and some others to plan for their retirement.